Okay, here's a story, one I've never gotten to tell. It's kind of funny. It's something that came to me later on in life, um, when things started to settle down and I was able to remember things that happened when I was young. And because it seemed like from a very early age that my world was kind of busy and there was a lot going on, so it was really hard to relate these things that happened because of the separations that occurred. And so anyway, I remembered that my dad, when we were living together in the trailer park, Springfield, and Hugh was trying to fix our swing set. Our swing set was rocking because it didn't have anything holding the poles in place. They were just buried in the dirt, and as you would swing, the whole thing and all the poles that were supporting the swing set were rocking. So he decided to fix it. And I came out there, and he was doing the job that I thought would be the job that had said he would do, and that would be to fix it and to, put down the concrete. So he had a hole dug, and the hole wasn't even nearly full of concrete, very much at all. There was very little concrete in the hole of this one pole that was going to stabilize the whole swing set. He was only putting concrete in one pole, and that was the furthest from the left pole. So I asked him why he was not putting that much of the concrete in there, that he was putting so little, and because I was concerned that it would not be enough to anchor the swing set. And he told me, he said that he was not putting that much in there because he wanted to put enough in there so that he would be able to rip it or pull the swing set out from the ground when it was time to go. When it was time to go is, in other words, whenever we were going to move. So, I was a bit upset. I thought that was really kind of lackadaisical and lazy to do, to shinsi the job that needed to be done in order to save some time and work, and it was at my cost. The swing set was not going to be anchored. It was been no better than before. And so when he left, when he walked away, I think I was about 5 years old at the time. And I thought to myself, as this quickcrete was drying, and I thought, gee, I wish I could put something else in there, some more concrete would be great. And but I can't get my hands on any concrete. Well, what can I do? Well, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you're 5 years old about something that's a lot like concrete, that you add water to, and then it hardens? And the first thing that came to my mind was oatmeal. Oatmeal, you add water to it, and you leave it in the sink, and it gets hard as a rock. So I went into the kitchen, into the house. I went into the kitchen, and I got the whole thing of Quaker Oats, and I dumped it. I went out back outside, and I dumped it in the hole, and I stirred it up. And I was pretty pleased with that. I was a little bit happier, but I still thought that it needed something more. It was just, what if that's not enough? It didn't really look like, I was making the maximum amount of impact, reaching my full potential. So I thought to myself again, what else is there that could possibly be like oatmeal and concrete? And that you add water to and becomes hard. And And the next thing that was there in my head was the grits. So I went back into the house and I got the grits. And it was probably a pretty huge bag of grits. You know, it was probably like a 5-pound bag of grits or something. I don't quite remember. But I can imagine it was probably the whole bag of grits. So the whole bag of grits go in the hole too. And finally I've accomplished all of this without a hitch. Nothing, you know. And I feel pretty good about it. I feel like, you know, that I'm in the clear and nobody's going to find out about it. And I'm stirring it with a stick, you know, a little pine tree stick. And it's taken a while, you know. It's a job to sit there and stir this thing. And I'm stirring and I'm stirring and I'm really concentrating on what I'm doing. And you know, you're 5 years old. This is huge. And my sister comes skipping up, you know. La 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 la, skipping up, you know. Her hands are kind of flying back and forth, and she's all happy. And Allison's like 4 years old, and she comes right up next to me, and I'm stirring this thing, and I don't want to be bothered, you know, because I'm doing some pretty risky stuff here, and she wants to nose in and already butt in and into the business of. So she says, "What are you doing?" And I turned to her, and I kind of went blank for a second, and I said, I guess I'm going to have to tell her. In my head, I said, I'm going to have to explain to her what I'm doing. So I didn't tell her about the oatmeal and grits, but I said, you know, Dad, he's trying to short us on the swing set, and it's not going to work. He thinks that it's going to work, and he's doing this, and he's shorting us on the swing set. So I'm fixing it, is what I said. And when I said I'm fixing it, Allison looks at me and she goes, "Okay," and skips off, just like la 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 la, back to la la land, skipping off, you know, just okay. And I thought to myself, wow. That was close. Well, I don't know, but it was some time after, and it came time to move. And me and Allison were with Dad, and I think we came to the trailer to pick up the last few things and to pick up the swing set. And I remember the car that he was driving at the time. It was this old hoopty, long, you know, like 1970s vehicle, you know, one of those old vehicles. And we and Allison are in the car, and he goes out to the swing set. He's gonna pull the swing set out of the ground. And he goes out to the swing set, and he was pretty young at the time. You know, he was probably fresh out of boot camp. You know, he was in damn good shape. You know, I knew that he knew what he was doing. I guess. I mean, now that I know that he had a degree in landscaping, he understood earth pretty well. He knew exactly how much concrete he poured in the hole, and how hard it would be to pull it up out of the earth that he had buried it in. It was like a clay kind of a earth, you know, orange clay. But I knew that he was pretty confident in the work that he had done and his analysis of how much he should pour in there and whether or not it could come out. And he got over there, man, and you should have seen him. You know, watching him out of the window of the car, and he was all over it. And he can't get the damn pole out of the ground. he's pushing that thing, he's pulling, and you know, we were pretty good ways away from the swing set and him, like maybe about 50 yards, but you could see it, you know, maybe it was like 20 something yards, but you could see it, you know, you could see that he was trying everything, and he comes back to the car, and he sits in the driver's seat, and he closes the door, and we got to go, and he's sitting there, and me and Allison are in the back seat, and he says, "I don't understand it." I just don't get it. So I put just enough concrete in that hole so that I could get it out, and I can't get it out. he, he, he's like, you know, really?